you're talking about studying, enough like throughout the week, would you suggest maybe studying once a day if you could, like even if it's for like 30 minutes, an hour, or do you think that you should, kind of save the studying for when you can actually do in depth, like and spend, 2, 3 hours at a time?
That's a great question. I've spent a lot of time thinking about how to structure studying. One of the first things that people started asking me when I started the LSAT blog over 10 years ago now was, how should I prep for the next LSAT? What should I do each week? And then what should I do each day? And so I created week by week plans, day by day plans as well, where I really break it down what to do every single day. So which articles to read on my website, which books to read, which pages to read in an LSAT textbook, and then of course, which problems to complete out of the actual LSAT exams. And so when you're looking at it week by week or day by day, I'll typically recommend maybe on a weekday, 2 to 3 hours, maybe on a weekend, 5 to 6 hours. I would never do more than 5 or 6 hours in a day because that can lead to burnout. And at a certain point, your brain's fried, it becomes diminishing marginal returns. And so it would depend on the student. Let's say you're a college student where you have classes Monday to Thursday, then maybe you do more of your studying Friday to Sunday. Or if you're working Monday to Friday, then maybe before work, during lunch, after work, you squeeze it in where you can, then of course, weekends as well. So I'd say you want to carve out the time, but even if you're working, let's say as a paralegal from 9 to 5, 9 to 6, you ask your boss, can I get out at 6 every single day so I can still study? Then you maybe get to work an hour early, you use a half hour at lunch, an hour or two in the evening before you go home.
Mm-hmm. You said that 5 to 6 months would be ideal. What would you say to someone preparing longer? Do you think that that could lead to a burnout, or do you think more time, if you had that much more time to prepare, do you think that that would help?
That's a great question. And I do encounter students like that. Typically they're students who are in the very fortunate position to have their parents supporting them, or they just maybe they end up studying for longer than 6 months, not with the plan to, but because they keep postponing. And so either way, it can lead to burnout. It typically leads to burnout when a student is studying full-time, they have nothing else going on, they're not working, they're not in school, they just have the opportunity then to become obsessed with the exam. And so those are the people where I'd say 5 to 6 hours every single day for a period of 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, that's way too much. You're gonna burn out, no question. And so I would say, if that's your situation, maybe keep it to 4 to 5 hours some days. But you could do, if you're studying for 6 months or longer, you could study only 3 to 4 days a week, and that would be enough. And then you can also make sure everything else in your life is going smoothly. So you're eating well, you're exercising, you're getting enough sleep, you're getting outdoors, you're socializing. All that stuff really does make a difference, because you've got to be at your sharpest for the LSAT. If you're even a little bit off, if you're tired, if you're hungover, if you're a little bit rusty, all of that can have an impact, even though your understanding of the exam has not changed. You want to be sharp. Then for the student who, let's say, is working long hours and postponing, and for that reason, they end up studying for 6 months or longer, they're not at as much risk of burnout. But what I would tell them is really be conscious of carving out the time so that this doesn't kind of stay on the back burner forever. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.